Hello, viewers, greetings, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Matters, a video series highlighting the stories and experiences of global leaders and providing leadership advice. The series is hosted by Avinash Ananda, a recognized leadership advisor, happiness strategist, and a motivational keynote speaker. Over the course of more than 30 years, Avinash has personally mentored more than 1,000 leaders and trainers and trained more than 1 million individuals from all walks of life in 30 countries. Our special guest for today's episode is Mohammed Rafathullah, Managing Director, Gandour, India. Rafat is a true visionary and a force to be reckoned with in the world of retail and business. With over 3 decades of experience driving sales, distribution, marketing, and new business development across multiple industries, Rafat has left an indelible mark on renowned organizations such as ACT FIBERNET, Dukes India, Bharti Teletech Limited, the Kraft Heinz Company, and GSK.
Welcome, viewers, to yet another episode of Leadership Matters. Mohammed Rafathullah, I call you Rafat.
Yeah.
I got his permission to call him Rafat. Hi, Rafat, how are you?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Fantastic. So, you heard the impressive profile of Rafat that was read out to you when he was introduced to you. It's a pleasure being here with you, Rafat. This is a series where we interact in an informal, impromptu way. We spoke for about 3 or 4 minutes before we started the recording. The idea is to hear your story, Rafat, and then generate some, or not generate, extract some life lessons and leadership lessons, which will be exciting for our viewers. What I love about Rafat in the 3 minutes that I spoke to him, he has amazing quotations. And these are not, he doesn't quote other people, he quotes himself. So, which tells me something about you, Rafat. You go through your experiences, you reflect on it, and then you make these little things which are like principles that guide you along your life. Is that how it works?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where does it come from? What is the source of your inspiration?
My inspiration is stemming out of my learnings from my father. He is a history teacher, and right from my childhood, I used to go to him, ask for stories before going to bed. And he was readily having the wealth of world history with him. So
Wow.
he kept sharing his stories every time, every dynasty, every information. But as I grew up with those stories, the only learning I have concluded is the world belongs to you, the entire geography belongs to you. And it's up to you how much you want to conquer it. What is your desire level in conquering that? So I apply the same perspective when it comes to business. And whichever project I have taken up from day one with complete integrity and honesty, I have worked all over these 30 plus years and turned around many projects with a very clear objective that we can't go with the traditional way of 10 or 12% growth, but we should be thinking of 10 or 100 times growth, because sky is the limit and we can make it happen as long as you have that skill, will, resources, and process. These 4 fundamentals of business, if you follow, and with all complete honesty and integrity, then you are unstoppable. No one can stop you. Whatever you dream of, you can make it happen.
This is fantastic. Rafat, you should join me in motivational speeches on the stage in front of thousands of people.
Thank you.
Guys, let's recap this, okay? Because it's already given us something. Rafat has given us a formula for success. His formula for success is will, skill, resources, and process. So the will is the desire, the skill is the capability, the resources are all the things that we have that we can use to achieve it, and the process is a system or a path that we can follow. And sometimes, if you want to be path breaking, then don't follow another path, but create a path so that you can give quantum leaps. Apart from this, Rafat said, Rafat, tell me if I'm going in the right direction. He says you need one thing besides that, which is integrity. Without integrity, none of these other things will work. Is there anything else you want to add to this to make this formula more?
I mean, selling profession is nothing but I would call it transmission of enthusiasm.
Lovely.
If I'm enthusiastic about something with all integrity, if I transmit that enthusiasm to you, I can succeed in selling it.
Super.
And that is what I do day in and out. Any strategy, because as the head of any organization which I have been, the selling of the strategy which I feel is appropriate becomes very difficult to sell it to your senior team, core team. And if you do it with complete conviction and when you transmit your enthusiasm to them, obviously they would be convinced about implementing it. And I'm sure by being there with them, you can demonstrate all the time what you feel, how you feel, and what is the philosophy behind your thinking. And that is when the success becomes inevitable for you.
Super. So, Rafat, again, I'm going to summarize with every answer that you're giving, you're throwing out these gems that should be written down. So this thing I suggest be written down is this. But before that, let me share with you something else interesting. The entire training that I do is based on a science called meta-mind alignment. So I work with 300 companies. I've been doing this for 30 years. And the essence of this is three things: will, skill, and thrill. Wow. Will and skill we are already aligned on. The thrill part of it is nothing but the execution excellence, which is exactly what you said. It is the process with integrity, with resources and resourcefulness. All of that we put into something called thrill. Will, skill, and thrill. And the thrill also is an indicator of enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
Which is what you just mentioned. Which is why I'm combining these two.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And another great thing is selling is just the transfer of enthusiasm along with some rationale behind it, which could be your philosophy or could be making them see your point of view, having a point of view, being able to enunciate it clearly. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But tell me something, Rafat. You're a managing director of a company called Gandour. Is that correct? Is that pronounced right?
Gandour.
Gandour is a very big company in the Middle East. And you're heading that organization. What quantum jumps and leaps did you create here also? That's one question. Second question, I'm throwing it out to you. You can answer whatever you like. Second question is, so the question mainly is, how do you use your formula in reality is my question. With an example of your current organization. Second question is, you have actually listened to your father and gone to all the different geographies. Here I'm not talking only geography, I'm talking industries. Glaxo, pharma. You've been in telecom, huh?
Bharti was there, ACT broadband.
Amazing, huh? I mean, from broadband to chocolates, what is this you're doing? What kind of geographies are you conquering? What has that experience been like? What has that taught you, or how have you used this formula there? These are the two questions.
I think it is basically, I come from sales and distribution background. And it is, if as long as you have a good product to sell, and if you distribute it well, and obviously that is going to result into the success of whatever product you are selling. So I don't distinguish whether it is broadband or end of the day, consumer is consumer. Whether it is a chocolate or a biscuit. I was heading Duke's Biscuits also before. And whether I take Heinz for almost 13 years, I was working across India. I worked in various geographies. So everywhere I went with the same conviction to grow exponentially. I did not control my thoughts. And especially in the current organization, when I came on board, it came at a time when exactly the COVID lockdown had started. And they are into chocolate manufacturing, and they were having a very, very expensive business model.
So you joined this company at the time of COVID?
Yeah. Just
Oh,
4 days
wow.
before lockdown.
Okay.
17th of March 20, I joined, and 22nd was Janta curfew, and 24th was lockdown.
Right.
So obviously, it was for 10 years continuously, it was a loss-making unit because of its expensive business model they were in.
Uh-huh.
They were selling their own brands like Yamama, Tofilak, Safari, which are very good chocolates, very famous in Saudi. But the model which they were following was they were selling 5 rupee chocolates in India with a very huge distribution network of 400 people and 24 CFAs, all these things. Every aspect of this distributor network is all expensive to afford. And
Sure.
it was not at all making any profits. In fact, it was incurring huge losses.
Uh,
So I came at a time when I realized it is not going to help us to reinvest further in especially a time like COVID, where
right.
selling is just not possible. Moving out of your house and that too a niche product, niche category
Sure.
was very tough. So I decided to withdraw that platform, and we also at the same time had relationship very good conversion. That is job work we were doing for Mondelez. We manufacture Perk, Five Star, and Choco Bakes kind of
Okay.
products, and so I thought it would be wiser in a situation like that to focus more on manufacturing. Though it's
Sure.
contract manufacturing is a
Lower
lesser
margin.
margin, low margin kind of a job, but for survival instinct was to do that rather survive, retain those 400 people and make best efforts to grow in a lockdown situation.
Right.
So that worked well, and we got all local permissions. We were manufacturing it consistently. Not a single day we stopped, and as a result of which we could become a good partner, a priority partner for Mondelez, and we started supplying their stocks, and they also helped us with higher volumes. And today we are at a much better position, and we are a profitable organization.
Uh-huh. Lovely, lovely. Where else have you done this? I love this idea of quantum goals, or the leap that you're looking at making. That you don't go for 10%, 20% growth, you go for 10x, 20. Where in history has that come from? Have you been studying Alexander or
Yeah,
Genghis Khan or
I
who?
have not studied any one of them.
No,
I
no,
have
no, no.
only
But when
heard
I say
from my
study, I mean,
father.
yeah, what stories has he been telling you that inspired you to go for that?
Because they did not limit their thinking, and they kept conquering, and
Sure.
that is what I also feel you should if I go back to my ACT days,
Yeah.
where we were doing 300 400 new connections a month for broadband. As
Uh,
soon as I joined, I went with the proposal, why not 5,000 connections?
uh,
And it shook everyone for a moment that
sure.
obviously when you have disruptive ideas, most of the traditional set of thinking would view it as mad thinking.
Sure, sure.
So
Absolutely.
that is where I was everyone was looking whether I will make it happen or not. But
Uh-huh.
when you had this will of making 5,000, and we had that technology which will support very high speeds, there
Yeah.
is there is nothing to stop you. So we focused every day. We analyzed the daily mistakes, what we are doing in terms of reaching out. So if I have to narrate, we had only monthly connections when
Uh,
I started. So then I thought in a overhead connection, monthly connection means tolerance will be very less for a consumer. Overhead connection is always connectivity will be an issue. Something one hailstorm comes, your uprooting of trees will happen, your fiber is out.
sure.
Then its customer will overnight disconnect your connection and go for some other alternative.
Right.
So what we smartly did at that point in time is we made annual packages and encouraged them to go for annual packages. A breadwinner is the decision maker, the head of the family.
Right.
And we gave some good consumer offers to the supporting lady, housewife. some beauty packages we gave free along with the consumer pack if they go for annual package. So that triggered all our annual numbers, which were literally less than 10%, became 70% plus. Then
Wow.
we started getting revenues, and at the same time, which is a business which is capex centric, you are getting more money.
Sure.
So we started getting that, and at the same time, when we promised that our vendor that you better give us better credit facility, we can help you establish your switches in India.
Right. Right.
So personally, I traveled and met with the manufacturer of those switches, requested for more credit, got the benefit from him also.
What's your style, Rafat? What is your style of influencing? The leadership is, at the end of the day, it's influence, no one word.
Yeah.
So influence for impact. But what is your style of influencing? You said you've been in sales throughout.
Yeah.
Even now, as head of the organization, you still say you're in sales.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're obviously transmitting your enthusiasm. It's very interesting. The word enthusiasm comes from entheos. Greek word theos means God.
Yeah.
So the God within, or the energy of the gods, is what you have when you transmit enthusiasm. That's brilliant. Tell me, what is your style? What is your strategy or your way or your approach to convince somebody of something or to influence them?
I think, as I mentioned sometime back, transmission of enthusiasm, and just transmitting enthusiasm will not really, maybe at that moment it will impress the entire viewers, whatever I am saying. But most important is I'll have to share my convictions behind the transmission of enthusiasm and demonstrate. I think as a leader, if you demonstrate, though it's a laborious process of demonstrating, and the moment you succeed in demonstrating live in front of your team, then you are overnight creating another 1,000 Rafats in your organization.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, in that 1,000, there will be some critics, some 50, 100. They may not accept it, but balance 900 are with you.
Sure.
And they go crazy after your thought process. They just replicate your energies in the market with the convictions what you have shared with them.
Sure,
because
sure.
conviction becomes the big secret of this enthusiasm.
Got it. Superb. I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Rafa, do you use any of this at home also? Does your family think also that you are sometimes a little mad in your crazy decisions? I'm sure there's a tremendous respect for you, but besides that, I'm talking about at home. Huh? Do they sometimes get a little shocked by your bizarre ideas?
Yeah, I think it will go slightly at home front. They will see it as I'm very avaricious, not ambitious.
That is so sweetly honest of you, and this is humor. Huh? This is not. Don't take it as the truth. Yeah, nice. So they tell you settle down. Huh? Spend more time with us.
Yeah.
Okay. But you're in your hometown now, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're in Hyderabad.
I'm in Hyderabad, but children both are in UK. Both are son is
What are they
working
doing?
there.
How old are they? What are they doing?
My son is 25. He is an environmental engineer plus sustainable energy masters from Cardiff University. Right now,
Fantastic.
working with one startup in Bristol, UK. And daughter is pursuing her second year psychology in Cardiff University. And she wants to pursue masters in forensic psychology and brain imaging.
Brilliant, brilliant. Huh? Each one in their own direction.
Yeah.
Your wife is also doing something very interesting. She runs a school.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can tell us a little bit about your wife's school, please, especially about the Earth Kinder that you were mentioning.
Yeah.
The Montessori and the Earth Kinder part, and some of your views on learning and training.
Yeah. So basically, the whole idea of school, my wife is from hospitality and banking background, but when she conceived the first child, she immediately felt the education system in India is not up to the mark as per her expectations, and she felt, and among all the courses, she chose Montessori as her choice, and which is more of a practical education, but not recognized in India. And she left her bank job and joined this course, and finally she completed. And because of my professional mandates, she had to be with me between Delhi and Bombay. She could
Uh-huh.
not start as soon as the idea came in. It got little delayed, as a result of which our son missed the bus, whereas daughter could catch it at a very early stage. She studied fully in Montessori environment,
Oh, nice.
and today she has two schools. And initially she also started with a very humble beginning, wherein in our own house drawing room she used to run with four kids. And there we had a driver who used to go pick up children in a Maruti 800. At times when he is down, she used to go personally and pick up and drop them back. That is how she started. But the conviction she also had in this practical education was so much that none of the parents left her. I mean, whoever have joined, they wanted to continue. And as a result of which she had to offer this education continuously. Today she has a school up to 10th standard. And
Fantastic.
now she has uh, decided to start one Earth Kinder program, which is meant for adolescents, where
Uh-huh.
completely farm living happens and outdoor education happens, where children work in the farm. While working in the farm, they produce and they take care of the cattle as the kid of earth, that is Earth Kinder. It's their responsibility to be independent during their adolescent stage.
Sure.
And of course we follow CBSE curriculum. We
Right.
When it comes to recognition in India, CBSE comes as the subject.
Right.
But that's a very unique experience, I would say. Only in India there are two schools, one in Pondicherry. This is going to be the second school in India.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I think this is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And our country needs more and more of education, which is more holistic.
Absolutely.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. Huh? So that's great, Rafa. So, Rafa, things that have been coming to my mind.
Yeah.
And what I do usually is I take the person's name and
Yeah.
then I put it into an acronym and do a summary of either their qualities or their messages. So I got a little mix of your qualities and your messages. And Rafatullah is too long, so I will just take Rafat.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So R, what comes to my mind with whatever you've said so far as a message to everybody is reinvent.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a quick question about this. What about fear of failure? When you aim so high, when you constantly reinvent yourself from industry to industry, from cable to chocolates, how? What is your concept of failure?
I think failure is part and parcel of success, and that is a the more you fail, the better you succeed. I would say it's a great learning in life, and in fact, many a times when things are not happening, uh, my message to my team would be, let's fail 10 times. Let's make an effort to fail 10 times.
Lovely, lovely,
When you
lovely.
make an effort, obviously whether it will succeed or fail, we do not know. But as
Absolutely.
long as the conviction is there, and if they say we are not able to grow, business is not coming, okay, make a double your mistakes. Let us see how we will not
Right,
grow. So
right.
that is my perspective to failures and
Very nice. Very
mistakes.
nice.
Yeah.
Tell me one more thing which was not covered because after speaking about your wife's venture, we didn't speak about your approach to training or learning for your team
Training.
and for yourself.
Yeah, training is obviously the continuous process. You learn from the environment around if you want to
Sure.
be a smart businessman. It is not that, what is mandated for you to learn.
Right.
In fact, you should be inquisitive to know how many leaders around you are succeeding, how many leaders around you are failing, and what are the triggers and barriers in their life. The more you learn about them, the higher chances are there you will fail lesser. You will not fail more.
Brilliant. So you have the best practices, you have the worst practices, you have reflected on it. So that's how you can reinvent. That's the R of Rafat, reinvent. Then
Absolutely.
we go with the A.
Yeah.
A, I would say, is ambitious, not avaricious.
Yeah.
And I would say ambitious for growth. See, it is not about success, it is about who you become in the process of achieving that success.
Absolutely.
Because every time we achieve a next level of success, we grow as individuals. And I think that is your ambition more than anything else. Apart from the fun of it, to break barriers and conquer geographies and be the history warlord. Nice, nice. And to create history. That's lovely. Huh? I think your father is left behind. Your father has created history by putting this thought in your head.
Absolutely.
Very nice. Huh? So that's A, ambitious. Huh? F, I would say, is focused.
Yeah.
You had not mentioned this anywhere in your conversation, our conversation today, but I see that coming across as very clearly because all of these things that you spoke about were mostly at the mindset level.
Yeah.
Huh? About the beliefs, about the conviction, about the enthusiasm, all those things. But leaving it at that, you would not be where you are.
Yeah.
You obviously have excellent execution capabilities through your team, which cannot come without a focused mind.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I see focus is a very important factor of who you are and what your life probably stands for. A, the other A. You want to help me with this? I feel there's a message here. You tell me if you want to add something. Articulation of conviction. It's a long one, but what I mean by this is you are clear in your thinking. So clarity of thought. You are clear in your speech. So there's clarity of speech. Clarity of thought always precedes clarity of speech. But apart from that, you're clear in what you believe and you're able to communicate that clearly to other people, which helps you in the selling process.
Yeah.
You said no, that it's not just transferring of enthusiasm, it is also a transferring of the conviction.
Correct. And demonstrate. Demonstration.
Bravo. Very
That
nice.
is articulation, I would.
That's the articulation. Very nice.
Yeah.
That's correct. Huh? Super. So, and the T, of course, is transmission of enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
So that is RAFNT. How you like that?
Yeah, I have H also. My spelling TH.
I didn't take the H. Okay, good. So you want to add the H, or should I do it right now?
I am very humble always, and humility is my core. I would say I don't because the humility compels me to demonstrate all the time. It is not just tell somebody do this. It is how we have to do it.
Sure.
Again, I will reiterate, it's a laborious process. It's not easy. It needs a lot of patience, composure, and that humility drives me to, without any hesitation, I demonstrate it to my team all the time, whatever I am saying.
Give an example, no, please.
Yeah, I think the best thing I would take is I was in BTEL, which is Bharti Teletech.
Yeah.
And there were in the month of March, I remember, March 2008, we had almost 40 crores worth phones which were to be sold. And for almost 5 years, those high-end phones were lying in the CF, our depots, and nobody was selling it because there was some minor issues in the phone. Only thing is, if you get it, because the issue is there, it's a stock is written off by the company. Nobody was selling. Then I took that initiative and I got it minor repair what was required. I got it locally done and made it absolutely 100% working phone and sold it to consumers directly with the help of along with my team in Bombay. I was heading this business in Western region that time. This is so when I did that exercise and asked for feedback from the consumer, consumers were very happy with the utilization. And now the real story comes. So the moment we took this initiative to sell 40 crores worth phones, so the division of that 40 crores was done. North will do 10 crores, East will do 10 crores, West will do, and South will do. This is the simplest math anybody could do. But I knew nobody is going to sell that product. It is
Right.
only Rafat will sell, and Rafat's conviction will drive me to sell. And
Right.
I requested my director sales, please do not shift stocks from Noida CFA. Let entire stock remain in Noida CFA. The moment you shift 10 crores to each region, then the freight cost will be very high to bring it back from other region.
Sure.
Let it stay. Only when I give orders, you give me that volume. If East gives order, you give it to Calcutta. North gives, you give it to Delhi. This is how I agreed with him. And I started, post my demonstration, I got around 100 management interns from Pune, help of my HR manager,
Right.
and explained it to them. And my sales team, I made them the leaders and gave them 10 guys as their trainees under them, interns. And exactly we were getting minor corrections done and started selling that product and sharing the story of few consumers who bought it and they are very happy about it. The small videos, we made it on mobile and showed it to them. It is
Right.
not a TV ad. Its complete Western region sold 33,000 phones. 33
Wow.
crores worth phone were sold
33
by
crore
Western.
worth phones.
33
Okay.
crore worth. And rest of the region sold 1.5, 1 crore kind of a thing, because they
Right.
did not have any conviction to sell. They knew
Right.
it's a written off stock. They have to sell it. Under compulsion they were selling, whereas I was selling out of conviction, not compulsion.
No, I think this is brilliant, but beyond the conviction, there's one more very powerful message in there, which is the demonstration of the conviction. By
Absolutely.
making those videos, you are giving your salespeople a tool that they can use and they can replicate,
Yeah.
which is a no-brainer. So they just have to do, because most people, even if they come, they have the enthusiasm, they have the conviction, but they don't know how exactly.
Yeah.
So by you demonstrating that, they have a tool that they can use, which they can replicate and get the numbers.
Absolutely.
Brilliant, brilliant,
And
absolutely brilliant.
that one exercise made me national sales head
Congratulations.
for the company. Immediately from
Congratulations,
the
sir.
general manager West, I became national sales head in Bharti.
Right, good, good, good. Huh? Brilliant time I spent with you here, Rafat. Absolutely great. So can we go quickly over the RAFATH?
Yeah.
R is reinvent yourself is your message. A is be ambitious. F is be focused. The A is articulate your conviction or demonstrate your conviction. And the T is transmit your enthusiasm. And H, as Rafat says, humility. Humility to be able to go the extra mile to persuade, demonstrate, influence. Don't think that they will understand you or they have to follow you just because of your position. Go the extra mile to win their hearts. Rafat, you are an award-winning leader. Tell us a little bit about this award that you won. Congratulations. You recently won an award with White Page International.
Yeah.
What is this about?
This is as recognizing me as a top global leader. I got this. I think the recognition I got it for the work which I have done over 3 decades in this country.
Congratulations.
And, thank you very much. I have been there into FMCG, telecom, IT, internet, and back into FMCG right now. So, but most important, I would like to attribute this is for the turnaround projects I have done. Like Heinz, I was in the early stages, followed by Bharti, then ACT and Dukes, and last but not the least, Gandour, which is my current project.
Rafat, these are fantastic achievements, but I think from my little interaction with you earlier, this is an achievement award that you should be giving your wife. She is from an army background family.
Yeah, absolutely.
What her father was in the army?
Colonel. Yeah,
retired colonel. So she's used to shifting base.
Correct.
Because her father used to get transferred.
Yeah.
But with you, she probably would have shifted base more times than with her father.
Absolutely.
So she is the true person who deserves this award. Congratulations to both of you. Yeah. Lovely. Did you have a good time?
Great. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you
so
for
much.
helping me rediscover in this process.
Thanks a lot, Rafa. Thank you.
You.
See you next time. Bye-bye. See you.